Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tasha, aka Miss Kiff, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm a full-time digital nomad. This is part of a mini series for wrapping up 2024 and really how 2024 has changed my life. So I asked ChatGPT for some questions and we're gonna answer it in this video. Let's get into it. So what was your most visited country or city in this year as a digital nomad? So Thailand, funny enough, Thailand was my most visited country because I went in February and I went for February for a full month. I traveled to Bangkok, to Chiang Mai, Surat Thani, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and then I went back and I traveled the whole Phuket and Penang. Check out my Thailand series, you'll love it. I literally can't wait to go back to Thailand. And I went to Bangkok. So Bangkok was I went to Bangkok 3 times this year on transit. And question 2, which workspace, setup or cafe did you find yourself the most? So actually this was in Vietnam. It's a place called Roots. So Roots was just organic vibes. You know, it's a vegan cafe, but I like a comfortable seat and I like just walking to that environment. Everybody was there, like everybody, 10 o'clock in the morning, everybody's there doing their thing, hustling and bustling. That was really cool about the cafe. Yeah, and I just had, in terms of my setup, all I had was my laptop. I had my laptop stand, a mouse, and maybe a tripod every now and again, but that was mostly it. Okay, question 3. What was your favorite new skill or tool you picked up this year for content creation or remote work? Tool wise, I would say I had a microphone, a portable dynamic microphone, which is good to interview people. It's not the quality that I want, but it's made me desirable for the road wireless mic. Tripod, I bought this tripod in Thailand, in Phuket, in Patong, where I used it a lot and it cost me like I think 15 quid to buy it, but it's sturdy and it's really good, and I've used it like all the time in my filming, which has been like such a good pickup. In terms of skill, I learned more AI prompts. That really helped me with my business and for me to start develop more in my life. Question 4, which video on your channel performed the best in terms of views and engagement? That is a good question actually. So my top content in terms of shorts was the 18 months of full-time van life, and that got me 25,000 views. But in terms of my most viewed content it's an old video, Focusrite Scarlett 6i6 second generation setup, and that got me 4,200 views. New content for this year, my and cost of living, which got me 1,206 views. Question 5, what was the most unexpected challenge you faced while traveling and working? So this is such a good question. So number 1, I lost my van. I lost my home whilst traveling, which was my van. And to change my life around in less than 2 weeks was wild, and to move out the van and sell it in 3 days was even more wild, and to go full-time travel is just even more wild. And more on this story if you watch my series, okay? If you carry on watching this series, you will find out so much. But anyway, so that was one of the situations, but another situation was in Vietnam. I was like, I have like in my life I have like a green, amber and red zone in terms of my finance, because this year was never planned for me to full-time travel. Can we just talk about that for a hot second? So I never ever was going to travel full-time, but it was my goal to travel full-time by the end of this year, having enough savings and having enough cash coming into my bank account. However, my van life situation changed in May. I had to sell my van quickly, and then I had to go into the unknown. So that big thing was massive. But in terms of income, because I work for myself, I had a contract close in July, and the last payment I received, I think, was August or September. And in August, I also lost another contract, which means in September, I remember 1 month after I stayed in Da Nang, I was like, right, let me renew my 3-month visa so that I can stay here and be grounded to work. And what happened is, I was in the red zone. My visa cost me like 150 quid, and I landed up being in complete panic mode because I was like, what am I going to do for money? So I was counting my pennies. But the best thing for me to overcome that, I think, well, I'm going to give you how I overcame it was, just know that when you put all your energy into working and discipline, the energy comes back to you. That's been my life for the last 3 years, you know. So how I overcame it is that I just freaking kept hustling and everything sparkled after that. So it's good to know your budget. It's good to know your amber, like where you're in the green zone, where you're in the amber zone. The amber zone kicks your butt so that you don't go out and do crazy stuff. Red zone is like, girl, you better work. Otherwise you're screwed back to freaking society. No thank you. So yeah, and also having the common sense to be in a very affordable place like Da Nang in Vietnam. Being in these red zones wasn't like I was freaking completely out. Anyway, so question 6. Which destination surprised you the most in terms of culture, beauty, and vibe? Okay, this is a difficult question. I feel like I loved India for the people. I loved and the women's stories. I connected a lot with women in India. And then in terms of Vietnam, I really was surprised of how awesome Da Nang was. Like, I think Da Nang is the most underrated place ever, and I feel like it was just the most chill place, organic. There's so much culture. It's so good for routine. And I think as a nomad, where you're just trying to sort out your life, stage 1, Da Nang is such a perfect place because it just really, Da Nang is a very special place in my heart. Like, I love it to bits. If you spend more time in nature in Vietnam, there's so much to explore. The coffee is insane in Vietnam. The American burgers is so good for like super cheap. The vegan restaurants is really good. In like, you can have Western food for not that much money in Da Nang. Like, the food's amazing, the coffee's amazing, the people are amazing. And so funny, like on the back of the scooters, the conversations, the randomness, everybody's keen to talk English, and yeah, it's really nice. Like, I really liked Vietnam. Surprised me the most for sure. Thailand has its own beauty because of, like, it's very equipped for Westerners, but also it's also evolved. Like, Thailand is such a great place for musicians and festivals and beach life. Question 7, what was your most played or favorite playlist podcast while working or traveling? I DJ and I would say I listen to my own mixes a lot because I like to not hear ads, but I also like a flow of a mix. Shits and Gigs. Shits and Gigs was the best podcast for me to listen to in 2024 whilst traveling, but also YouTubers. So I found, I'm going to add to this because even though like playlist is a different situation, podcast is a different situation, but YouTube's another situation. So YouTube actually got me through 2024 whilst traveling because I got to watch content. Like, my favorite content creators out of 2024 was Mashtag. He's batshit crazy. He's just like, some moments I cringe and I go, ooh, but then some moments I'm like, you are like, I love people who are authentically them and they come as raw as they are. Like, if you can make me laugh, I'm sold, you know what I mean? And he's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, which is fine, but he was awesome. Risky Reg as well, he kind of followed Mashtag's vibe. He's just got like a different energy, but he's super sweet as well, what I've seen, or at least content. The Sidemen, I actually found the Sidemen and I've been binge watching Sidemen, and I actually like it to be able to create my own challenges. Like, I would love to, in 2025, go, okay, I'm flying to Malaysia on a £500 budget, let's go. What can I do in a day or 2 days? Like stuff like that I would like to do more of in 2020. Then in terms of, I did like who can get the furthest away. So if I could get someone to come in with a challenge like this would be something so cool for me to do. Then Nate and Cara, oh, they are like my dream YouTube channel, power couple, aspirational king and queen of YouTube, because they're just a couple having fun and traveling together. This is their career, but they also launched businesses, like launched their daily drop, but the bigger the website, like a sky scanner for reward system, and I've explored rewards this year, which was like super cool. And also they just have a very wholesome, and they're Pisces, okay, I'm a Pisces too. My fish to swim with around the world. And then I was on the lookout for micro influencers that are like connect with whilst traveling. So Mystery, we got to meet up in Vietnam, Da Nang. She had like under 100 subscribers, and now she's got more than 100 subscribers, but she's got like 5,000 subscribers on followers on Instagram, so it was good to connect with her. Antoinette Yvonne, who does also digital nomad living in Bangkok, she was like my inspiration to live in Asia and to try out living in Asia, because I was kind of still figuring out my sense of belonging, and seeing someone do what I want to do or explore, she's just really cool. Like she started as a flight attendant, then COVID hit, so she did van life. She got rid of van life and she went into full-time travel, which she's been living in Bangkok for a year. So that's been amazing as well to watch. So I watch a lot of YouTube channels. YouTube is the platform where I romanticize my life. So I try to find content I aspire to be like. So even when watching a podcast or watching a YouTube or even a Spotify playlist, it's about what artist do I want to become or music I want to produce, what podcast do I want to create for myself, and what lifestyle do I want to live, and that's the content that I watch. So anyway, that all got me through. And when it comes to just, I love to laugh, and anything that makes me laugh, I'm there for it. Okay, question 8. How many new countries or cities did you explore in 2024, and which one did you find the most memorable? So I'll have to write this down. In terms of countries, I went to 6 including the UK, 5 not including the UK. In terms of new countries that I've not been to, it was 4 places. But Portugal, I had gone to a new city. So Portugal was new. So in terms of cities, we're going to go into cities now. I went to Phuket. Well, Phuket's like an island, so I'm rather going to put Patong. There was like the surrounding beaches, 2 of them, which I can't really remember. I didn't go to Phuket Old Town and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say like 3 cities in town cities in Thailand. 4 actually, Rawai as well. Or beach places. So 4 plus I went to Penang, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Suratani, which is 1, 2, 3, and 10. So in Thailand I went to 10 new cities. In Italy I also did a lot. I went to Venice, Lucia, Milan, Pisa, Vittorio Veneto, Padova, Verona, and I went to the mountains. So that was 8 places in Italy. In Vietnam, I didn't travel a lot because I was really focused on working. So I only went to 2 cities, Da Nang and Hoi An. In India, I went to Gurugram and then south of Delhi, which is 2 cities. In Portugal, I went to Faro, which is a new city I've never been to. So I have been to Lisbon, but I haven't been to Faro or Albufeira. So that's 3 cities that I've been. And then in the UK, I went to London, which I haven't been to London for a while, for a full year. Sheffield, I've never stayed in Sheffield before, but I did. Cardiff, obviously that was my base, in Whitby, North Yorkshire, York, 30 new cities. That's 30 cities, of which 25 were new. That's wild. But then we also had, on top of that, we had layover flights. I went to Kuala Lumpur and our airport, Beijing, China, and Doha. So I had a 3-hour layover in Malaysia. China was 8.5 hours and Doha was 5.5 hours. Yeah, which is awesome. Like, what? Oh yeah, and which one did you find the most memorable? So India had this extreme duality of super poverty versus super tech. That's what I've experienced. Just like wild, okay? Which was that for me, that's memorable. At least I would say Portugal was memorable because of the people and the spontaneous night out. Vietnam was super memorable for the community. I got into a running club. I went mountain hiking with a local, which is super memorable. The landscape of Marble Mountains was insane. The people I connected to and hung around with, and I got a girly tribe in Vietnam, which for me was needed traveling solo as a female. And then Thailand was also memorable because of the people. I went with a local and had a day trip, but I just had loads of Thai picnics with locals, and it was awesome. That was amazing. Beach time was so memorable. My retreat, going to the best retreat, Wonderland retreat, restoring my health, and that was amazing. But Italy, for sure. Italy was like food, wine, conversations, culture. Like, I felt like a part of me had needed to go to Italy. So yeah, that there was obviously, all of them are memorable, which is like crazy, but I just loved it. Like, it's every place has its own special place in my heart, which is hard to say one place. Question 9. What's one piece of advice you gave the most to fellow digital nomads and aspiring creators this year? Whew, this is a question. I don't think I gave a lot of advice because I was still exploring, but I think I'm going to change that to what my advice be now. I think for me, it's about taking take a risk on yourself and believe in yourself, because it's wild how much your life can change. Like, if you feel in your heart that life is like working out and you're like, why do I feel so limited? For me, it's just about taking a risk and leaving and exploring where you belong. And knowing your budget is important. Also, watch my YouTube series. You don't need a lot of money to travel. Firstly, you don't need a lot. You think you need so much money. You don't need a lot of money. If I could do it with only having like £1,000 in the bank account, you can do it for sure. If you get a remote job and you go travel, life is good. You don't need to worry about anything else. Just get a job that's remote for £1,500 a month minimum. $2,000 would be better, but if you're in debt and things like that, $2,500 would be better for you, but you could still do it with 1.5, because I did it. You don't need a lot, and you can have the best quality of life. It's so good for the quality of life that you're trying to create. So my advice would be that. And then aspiring creators is meet up with people and find your tribe. Like, I had the best time in Da Nang because I had so many people on my vibe, and I got to interview people. I felt more confident in myself because I met loads of digital nomads and people that instilled confidence in me. And for my social life and how I feel so accepted. I feel so loved. I feel rejuvenated from this year, and I just feel so excited for 2025. But there's so much more advice on my YouTube channel, and this video is getting crazy long, so let's move on. Question 10. What are you most excited about or planning for 2025 as a digital nomad and creator. I'm excited to find stability. For me, the first 6 months is about pushing myself out of my comfort zone of changing my mindset when I enter South Africa, when I enter Italy, when I enter like every country I go to this year, whether it be my home country or not, I go with a new energy and a new vibe of ticking the boxes of how can I content create to help my vision, how can I ground and create projects in this country, how can I help this country, how can I help creators, how can I help entrepreneurs. And especially for me, I need to ground in Asia for at least 12 months because I want to finally spend Christmas in a hot country, living my best life. Like, I would love to have my my friends, like invite people from the UK to come over to Thailand or to Vietnam and come travel with me, or have like a pop-up adventure. I would love to set up my own business retreat in Asia as well. I would like to really ground in my business for sure. Like, firstly, the reason why I want to move to Asia for 12 months is I want to be able to travel more without having loads of luggage. More on this in another video. But I want to also experience Asia for 12 months. That's it. And I want to ground so I can create more for my business so that I can have quicker results. And as a creator, is about leveling up my quality of content, maybe collaborating with people, and that's kind of it. I'm going to go do a full like goal setting for 2025 video, but that was just my 2024 wrapped up with ChatGPT 10 questions for you. If you have a question to ask, please comment down in the comment section below. Please subscribe and follow me on this cool adventure journey of just creating my best life, man. And hopefully I can inspire you along the way. Cool. Ciao, ciao.